Welcome to the Conscious Living Podcast, conversations to educate, empower, and enlighten our world. An uplifting and inspiring series of conversations and talks with your host, Jackie Woodside. We are educating minds, empowering lives, and enlightening souls to create a world where love prevails. In this engaging podcast, we deliver exciting, positive, transformative talks and teachings designed to elevate your life. Now, let's join our host, Jackie Woodside, for this week's session.
Hi again, everybody. Jackie Woodside here with the Conscious Living Podcast. And today, oh my goodness, are you in for a treat? Here at the Conscious Living Podcast, as you know, our mission is to educate, inspire, and empower humanity with just enlightening ideas about all aspects of what it means to live life more consciously. And today I have a literally world-renowned expert on an area where in my work in coaching and teaching, and an area that I find that people often go unconscious. Now, is your mind reeling right now, thinking about what that topic might be? Because the topic is, of course, money. Where we tend to go unconscious so often is in this often painful, often emotionally laden, often stressful topic of money. And I brought someone forth today, Ken Honda, who is just a joyful, lit up panda, happy joy panda about this topic of money, not only his money, but really helping people understand that money doesn't have to be this heavy, dense, difficult thing. So Ken Honda, thank you so much for joining me yet again. You've been on my Money Vibe Summit and my Conscious Living Summit, and here we are again at the Conscious Living Podcast. I'm so excited to dive in on this topic with you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Jackie, for your invitation. I'm stalking you, so I have to be on every show you have.
We are stalking each other. You are just such a delight. We were also on together the Best Year of Your Life Summit. You gave a wonderful talk there, and it was just lovely to be featured on that summit together with you. So it's really great to get to know you and become colleagues and stalk you and follow you around. So thank you for being here with us. Let's dive in, Ken. Tell people, I know the last time I interviewed you, I was mind blown and still am that last year you wrote, I'm going to try to remember, I believe 18 books. So you are right. In 1 year, right? You are a prolific author. So tell people a little bit about your background and the books that you've written, and then we'll get to the things that you're working on. But just fill in a little bit for people here.
Yeah. So I was born into a unique family. My father's a very successful tax accountant, and so he started to teach me everything about money. And I learned it so well. By the time I was 29, I could retire financially. So when my wife and I found out that she was pregnant with our daughter, we decided to take a few months off. But that few months off took like a year, 2 years. We ended up having 4 years off of our life, concentrating on child raising. So I'm super fast with changing diapers and all the things. So because that's all I did for 4 years. And but my daughter started to grow, so she kicked me out from my semi-retirement, my happy days. But I got inspiration to write. So a lot of people ask me during the 4 year of semi-retirement, they wanted me to teach about money and happiness. And okay, I can write a few pages. Few pages started to be 10 pages and 26 pages. So I started distributing my personal booklets, stapled by myself to my friends, and by word of mouth, people wanted more. So my copying machine was in full working mode. And then one day, I hired a printer. And because of the funny negotiation, he got me into ordering 3,000 copies, which is 2 trucks full of copies. And then I gave away my booklets, and the word of mouth got really big.
Yeah.
So by the time I gave about 100,000 copies of my personal booklets for free, a publisher called me and that's 20 years ago.
Wow. And Ken, what was the name of that first publication, that pamphlet that you wrote, 26 pages on happiness and money?
Yeah, eight steps to prosperity and happiness is a title,
Nice.
original title, and
do you
so
still
my first book,
distribute? Do you still distribute it?
yes, it's online. So and personally, I gave 2.3 million copies, physical copies for free,
Physical
which cost me
copies.
about $2 million for a gift.
Wow. That's stunning.
Mhm.
That's stunning. And you gave those to just to whoever wanted them, whoever asked for one, you gave it for free, the physical copy
Yes.
of that book.
I paid the postage to
Wow.
wherever they are. They were in Moscow, they live in Cape Town, they live in
Wow.
Washington, D.C., or wherever they were.
So Ken, let me ask you, what was your inspiration for doing that? Giving away that many personal pamphlets, sending them, paying the postage, stapling them together. What was your inspiration for doing that?
I got so curious about giving and receiving. You know, people say what you give, you get. I didn't buy that. Okay, you know, and I had 4 years of my personal fun time.
Yeah.
So I had this fantasy. Okay, what if I try out this this principle? What you give out will come back.
Yeah.
Say if I start giving $1 million for free for nothing, will I get $1 million back? And I got too curious. So one day I said to myself, I gotta try it myself and see how it goes. That's 20 years ago.
Wow. And here you are still giving. And since then, I know last I heard you had sold some upwards of 8 million books.
Yes.
And
That's paid.
those are paid. Yes, that's good. That's good. I'm glad. So you've sold 8 million different books. And how many have you written? I'm sorry, I've lost track of that.
Yeah, me too. I lost track of that. It keeps popping up every month. So I think my original work is somewhere around 50 to 60. So the physical books are about 200 books.
You have written 200 books.
I have written 50 or 60 books.
Oh, 50.
Yes, that becomes a physical book somewhere in Greece, Arabic, Poland.
Oh, different languages.
Yeah, many of them are in Japan, but
yeah,
more than 200 books somewhere.
Wow. I mean, that's prolific. I mean, you're like the Shakespeare of personal development.
Yeah, some people say, tease me, I'm a book writing, addiction. So
Addict. Yes, yes.
I have to start one, support group. Like
right.
My
Yes.
hands keep shaking.
Right. If you haven't written a book.
Yes, because my father was alcoholic. I didn't want to take on that. I couldn't smoke, and I don't like drugs. So I mean, book addiction.
You'll take it, huh?
Thing. Yeah, so I am addicted to reading books or writing books. Yeah. So my wife teases me. I either write or read books.
There you go. There you go. And does your wife read as much as you do?
Oh, she cannot keep up with my writing.
Right.
A lot of my readers, a lot of my fans complaining. The biggest complaint I get is that I write too many, so they don't know which one to read because it pops up so many times.
And are all the topics around money and happiness, or have you branched out into different topics?
Yeah, so I started out as a money guru because that was a time when Robert Kiyosaki started Rich Dad Poor Dad. I started a year later.
Oh, wow.
So for the first few years, I focused on happiness and money.
Yeah.
But I branched out because that's like a beginning of my work. Once you know the key to happiness and money is to find who you are. So it's almost like finding yourself. So for a regular person like me, a good way of making money is take advantage of your gifts.
Yeah.
Not only one gift. I'm good at speaking, I'm good at writing, I'm just entertaining people with the idea and philosophy.
Yeah.
So people come to my seminar not to learn, but to laugh, enjoy. So it's edutainment, education and entertainment. So thousands of people come to my seminar because it's fun and it's moving, and that's sort of like a rejuvenation for couples. The married couple comes and they kind of like when they go back, they shake hands and it's kissing each other, which is kind of unique in Japan, because they don't do that in public. So that's what I do. So you have to start doing what you love and creatively connect the dots, connect your gifts, and monetize it. So that's my specialty. So I wrote at least 20 books on how to find your gifts and monetize them.
That's so, how to find your gifts and monetize them. Yeah. I love what you said there, that, the key to happiness with money, this was so powerful that what you just said. The key to happiness with money is knowing who you are. Mm-hmm. And, if there's a key to conscious living, right? So this is the Conscious Living podcast. And one of the keys, if you will, to conscious living also is knowing at depth who you are, what your talents are, what your passions are, what your values are, what your purpose is, what your mission is. And that's also just one of my greatest passions, in helping people bring forth the fullness of who they really are. So I couldn't agree with you more that the key to happiness with money, and probably marriage, and probably health and well-being, and every other area of life, the key to happiness is really knowing who you are. So let's dive into that a little bit more, Ken. I'm so excited about your new work. Mm-hmm. I'm excited about all of your work because it's really brilliant. But you've got a new twist that I want to dive into a little bit, and this whole notion of heal your money, heal your life. Your upcoming brand new work. And I appreciate that language, because certainly as a therapist and as a coach, all the years that I been doing those two fields, I've seen people really suffer around issues of self-esteem and self-worth and worthiness and deservingness. So let's dive in. Let's start with just, what is the premise of heal your money, heal your life?
Over the past 2 decades, I have consulted many people, hundreds of people on stage, and mostly I dealt with money wounds, because we cannot be so free because of the past influences from our childhood and also from adulthood. We've been hurt so many times badly around money. We've been scolded. I wasn't scolded so much by my parents, but the only few occasions I remember were something to do with money, that I wasted money, that I wasted something, that has financial value. So, the message I got was like, money is more important than me. And I'm sure you can relate to that. We're denied of a birthday wish list of a mountain bike or PlayStation, depending on your age, but we didn't get something on our birthdays, and we still feel like mountain bike is kind of like floating in my head. Your PlayStation is like somewhere on up here, that didn't really show up on your birthday day. So those things gave us some scars. So we feel like, I really want to start my business, but I don't know if I'm worthy of doing it. I want to charge more, but I don't know if I'm worthy of this price or fee. And money is just a simple energy, comes in, and just it's in the air.
It is. It's the currency, right? It's something that flows. It's a current that flows in and out of your life.
Exactly, Jackie. And then if you are free from money, money is like air. You can breathe in as much as you want, and you don't complain about your friend is breathing your air right next to you. Like, that's my air, So people with a lot of money, they are so generous because they think there's a lot in this room or somewhere. So if you're free from traumas, money becomes there. But unfortunately, for most people, money is very tough, heavy ice, which you think you have to carry it all the way. And if you're lucky, the money could be water. Money flows into your life. But unless you manage it well, if it's water, if it's too much, it becomes drought. And if it's too little, if it's too much, it becomes flood. And if it's too little, it's drought. But either way, you have to be very careful. So even though you're financially okay, you still feel this pressure and need to be careful with money.
Right. So talk about that a little bit, because you're absolutely right. You know, I've worked with coaching clients that are literally multimillionaires who have said to me, well, you know, I've got to go out and make money because that's just what you do. I got to be making money. So, you know, talk to me about that, because I really think here's what I think. Everyone feels money pressure, which is a money wound, as you say. Everyone feels money pressure, but people feel it differently at different levels of socioeconomic status.
Yes.
So people who are at the very lower levels of socioeconomic, they feel real money pressure around survival things. And then, you know, at different strata, people feel, you know, perhaps at the middle strata, people feel that sense of, I got to get to that next level. I got to achieve, I got to do more. And then at the higher levels, it's, I've got to hold on. I've got to expand. Am I as good as them? And what if I end up going back? And right. So it kind of, who was it? Will Smith said, I think it was Will Smith. I might be getting that wrong. Jim Carrey said, I wish everyone could become rich and famous so that they know that money and adulation is not the answer. Right? So, and certainly this is true, that no matter what level of economic well-being people have, people feel money pressure. So how do you understand that, you know, that kind of universal experience of stress, worry, and pressure about money?
Right. Jackie, I'm enjoying this so much, by the way, you know, so thank you for that. This intellectual conversation really stimulates deep inside me. So thank you for the inspiration. So I learned about much about money IQ in my 20s because I need to make money, invest it well.
Well, hold on. What does that even mean? So let's break that down a little bit. Money IQ. You know, I don't want to make assumptions about what that means.
Sorry, financial intelligence. You know, you need to learn about investing, code, business ideas, and how to run business. So anything about intelligent part.
Yeah, the actual structural use of money as a tool, how to grow it, how to invest it, how to be wise with money, how to run a good business.
You need to know certain
there's things you need to know.
Intelligence side, but you don't really have to know, because just imagine John Lennon. Do you think he knew about, you know, tax code and everything? You know, he was very good at making songs, and then he's all right.
Right, so, or LeBron James probably doesn't know tax code, but he knows how to shoot a basketball.
Yes, so definitely. So if you know your stuff, it's okay. And I think it's more important to have a higher money emotional intelligence, because even if you are multimillionaires, if your money EQ is low, you feel upset, you keep complaining. And even if you have very little money in the bank, in your bank account, if your relationship with money is happy and healthy one, you don't worry about a thing, because you know the next day the sun will shine. And so that is the attitude. So if you know how to live happily, money doesn't really drag you down. So I interviewed a few multimillionaires complaining about their sizable private jets. You know, it's too small.
So, see what I mean? No matter where you are on the money spectrum, there's that sense of pressure.
Yeah. And also I had my student who was a single mom, but she was so happy with her 2 kids and a little money in the bank account and a nice job. You know, that didn't really pay her well, but she knew she could pay all the bills. And she said, what should I ask more? Because everything is being taken care of. And that is exactly the attitude.
All right, so let's go into that a little bit, because that you're going exactly where I wanted to go next with this. So I hear what you're saying. People have to have I think you said a happy happy and joyful relationship with money, which is what I call your money vibe, by the way. So we're speaking very much the same language. But you know, I think about somebody who's really struggling right now financially, someone who's maybe worried or lived in that sense of worry, fear, and lack most of their lives about money. And Ken, I think, I don't know if I shared this with you before, but that certainly was my experience, putting myself through college, working awake overnights, having a basketball scholarship, ending up homeless between graduate school and getting a job. I mean, I
Wow,
certainly, yeah, I
very
certainly,
colorful,
yes, I was very colorful. I went
like
from
your
homeless
paintings
to
back.
homeless to seven figures is one of the things I say about myself, and it's no exaggeration. So I'm very, very blessed to where I am today. But that journey, right? So I'm thinking about the person who was in my shoes back then, and to hear you saying like, oh, you need to have a happy relationship with money. You know, they might want to just reach over and slap you right now. So
Yeah.
while I agree with you, and I know that's so key and it's so truthful, let's speak to that person who's really struggling and maybe has struggled most of their lives. How do they get from that place of struggle and worry and fear and lack into that happy place with money?
Mhm. So to begin with, life is not fair. We wish
Okay.
life was a little bit more fair,
Okay.
but unfortunately, it's not fair in that sense. Because some were born with silver spoons, some
Right.
with gold spoons, and some are born with sand spoons, which you can't
Right.
really scoop anything.
Right.
So we are born with certain things. So that's your fate. Now, by the way, I wrote national bestseller, yeah, Fate and Destiny, and Beyond Fate and Destiny, Find Your Life Purpose is one of my national bestsellers. I hope I
Oh,
can translate that into English.
yeah.
But to make it very short, unfortunately, life is not fair, and also your working environment may not be fair. People may not treat you fairly, but that's the reality of life. Invasion happens from a different country to another.
Right.
Even in 21st century, a lot of injustice is happening
Yeah.
everywhere on the planet. But uh, you have to really know that's where you start. You have to start from somewhere.
Mhm.
But good news is the distance to happiness is exactly the same for everyone. Even though I've met the most good looking and the most prestigious person, she won Miss something, and then she was complaining about her eyebrow not being perfectly equal.
Oh,
I never even
wow.
knew that
Right.
my eyebrows are not
Is
equal.
that like a thing, right?
Right, but and so the first thing, but she said the first thing she just thinks of uh, at the beginning of the day are her not equally done eyebrows, which drove
Oh,
her crazy. So, and she never thought she's pretty, even once in her lifetime, but yet she won whatever the Miss Universe thing. So, the distance to happiness is the same. It doesn't really matter if you're poor or if you're wealthy. If you're born into a wealthy family, there's funny pressure. People think they have an easy life, but they were expected to be a certain way, and they expected to behave a certain way, and people try to take advantage of them. So there are so many things happening to lucky people too. Or you think they're lucky.
right.
So the distance to happiness is exactly the same for unlucky person and lucky person. So that's good news. So if you try to be feel happy, you can find happiness even though you have no money in your bank account. You have so much life issues. It doesn't really matter. Just if you decide you seek out for your happiness, in 2 seconds you can find peace of mind and happiness. But we have so many reasons to be unhappy about because we think we're not being treated fairly, the ways or the environment or the race or the culture, whatever that is. So you have to start from somewhere. And the key to get out of that misery place is a gratitude, which I wrote
Mhm.
a few books on. And one of my students, who's a single mom, was complaining about her little pay uh, and because she was put down, she didn't graduate from college. But she learned about how to be happy and grateful about her life. She realized that her boss kept her for 10 years without a college degree, which is something to appreciate. He
Right.
could have hired somebody else with a higher qualification, but he kept her. So she was complaining about her boss a lot, but then her viewpoint is completely different, and so she started appreciating her boss every day. But just saying thank you, more. And a few months later, she got a big raise and a big bonus, and because he probably realized that he forgot to appreciate her. So her appreciation to him accumulated over the few months, and
Right.
then it got translated into
And
money.
then, yeah. So one of the, you said so much. There's so many things I want to unpack here. So the distance to happiness is the same for the unlucky and the lucky.
Yes.
And the path, so, two people, unlucky and lucky, starting in the same place, that path, one of the avenues or one of the corners that you take on that path is gratitude. Am I getting it right?
Yes.
Gratitude is the path to happiness.
When I was in my 20s, I went to the Philippines to help the farmer there. So I worked in this sugarcane field all day for a few days. It's so amazingly tough, to work as a sugarcane labor. No machinery, just with you and a little sharp knife, and then cut it all day, and it's so sharp, so you have to be careful not to cut yourself. And at the end of the day, we could take shower, but not hot shower. Just you scoop water from river and then scoop it over you, and I feel so happy. And since then, every morning, every night, when I take a shower, I think of that, and then how lucky I am to be able to have running water,
hot shower,
which keeps coming out,
Yeah.
And then, so my happiness level, the criteria is so low, so I can be a happy camper. I'm learning new English phrases. Happy
New
camper,
English
right?
phrases, yes.
happy camper wherever I go. And the funny thing is, the happier I got, people are nicer. At the supermarket, people give me like $2 coupons, and I said, "Oh, thank you so much." Just jokingly, "Wow, I'm a millionaire." And then people don't know who I am there. And then the other one person said, "Okay, take mine." So I got like 2 coupons from 3 people, because
wow.
I really enjoy. I said, "Thank you so much." It was kind of like expressing my gratitude for fun.
It's
So
good.
if you express your gratitude more and send out a happy vibes, people react to that. So and then it doesn't really matter if you're a wealthy person.